Hi folks, got a soft drink review for you here. This is a bit of a spillover from the Bundaberg ginger beer review. The Bundaberg company have a whole range of brewed soft drinks, which is quite unusual. I haven't come across many other soft drink manufacturers who emphasise the brewed nature of their drinks. In some cases, like this one, apple cider, it seems to make sense. In others, it's a little bit strange, but we'll rip through and have a look at a few of these quite quickly. This is an apple cider, but it's a non-alcoholic apple cider. So I'll be interested to see what it's like because I've been drinking a few of the alcoholic ciders recently. So I got these in a what's called a brewer's 6-pack, which must have been a one-off because I can't find it again. But they're available in New Zealand supermarkets for about $6.30 for a 4-pack. These 375ml bottles, you'll also see them in cafes and bars, and they come with the classic Bundaberg rip cap, which can be tricky to get off. The most common moan I see in reviews is that people have cut themselves on the cap. A bit of practice helps, but you do have to be careful because it is mostly metal and the edges are quite sharp. I won't go into much detail on Bundaberg or the website. That's covered in my ginger beer review. So what's this stuff made of? It's, as you'd hope, it's got a fair bit of apple juice in it, 70%, but it is from concentrate, so there's no, although they say it's craft brewed, there's no freshly squeezed or freshly crushed apple juice or anything. There's a bit of water, cane sugar, and the sweetness in this is a bit less than Coke at 9.8 grams, which is encouraging. There's some natural apple flavour as well, which is unusual given that it's 70% apple, but there you go. There's also CO2 mentioned as an ingredient, which normally they say that there's carbonated water, so no idea why that is. And as usual with Bundaberg, there's something a little bit unusual. This has nettle leaf in it, which is a new one on me. Sodium, yeast, and then preservative. They have a range of preservatives, but this has got the 211, which is sodium benzenate, in case you're allergic to something. So they make a bit of a fuss about the fact that this is brewed, but it's only brewed for 2 days, so it's hard to believe that this would have fermented the apple juice out, and of course if it did, you'd end up with something that was, I would guess, 5 to 8% alcohol, so you'd then have to get rid of the alcohol somehow. I guess they brew it for a couple of days and then stop the fermentation, either with the preservative, maybe the sodium benzenate, or with heat, and they've ended up with a drink which is quite similar to an alcoholic cider with berry flavours. Lots of the ciders at the moment seem to be flavoured with berries or some other sort of exotic fruit. In New Zealand, the Feijoa seems popular. I'm sure overseas you have passion fruit or whatever the exotic flavours are there, but it's unlike an English style cider. It's ending up being quite sweet. So yeah, we'll have a look. What do they say it's like? They say our apple cider is a brewed soft drink made the old school way, crafted with apples picked from selected orchards. It's brewed to an authentic recipe extracting a delicious nostalgic taste. So there you go. So the trick with these is to pull out and then up, and I always find that it helps to open them away from you, that way you don't cut yourself. So let's have a look. It's in a dark green bottle, and this hasn't got any colouring in it, and sure enough it looks pretty much like an alcoholic cider. Pale apple juice colour, little to no head, which fades almost immediately. So let's take a swig and see what we think. The initial impression is that it tastes very much like fizzy apple juice, which is, because we produce a lot of export apples in New Zealand, is easily available at any supermarket. It's just 100% squeezed apple juice with carbonation. There's the very faintest hint of a little bit of brewing going on here, but it's so slight that you'd really have to do a back-to-back taste comparison. certainly not unpleasant, and I'd have no trouble drinking one. This has got less of the sort of artificial ingredients that sometimes seem to populate the Bundaberg range, and it has got a really good apple flavour, which it maybe they say it's from apples from selected orchards, even though it's a concentrate. But my guess is that they've added the natural flavour to get it a really good apple flavour. So yeah, interesting drink. So final conclusions on the Bundaberg cider. I really can't see that there's any great advantage to this over just carbonated apple juice, which is quite common in New Zealand. The carbonated apple juice comes in at almost exactly the same level of sugar, and there's nothing in it but apple juice and the carbon dioxide from the carbonation process. So you've got something that's had a lot less going on with it. I can't pick up any nettle leaf, although I must admit I don't really know what nettle leaf would taste like. I'm going to come down and give this a recommended. I probably wouldn't buy it again, but I'd be quite happy to buy it if there was a limited range of soft drinks at a shop and nothing else appealed. I'll give it a 14 out of 20. So yeah, not something I'd go out of my way to recommend that you try, but definitely it's not unusual. If you like apple juice, then I'm pretty sure you'll like this. Enjoy what you drink. Cheers.